guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Like my title says, obviously I'm going to be sharing with you 20 lessons that I have learned in my 20 years of existing. I'm 20 for all of those that don't know. I think I've made that very clear because I'm super excited to have entered a new decade of my life, because not very many people have been able to enter, and I'm pretty sure there were very many times I was sure I was not gonna make it, but by God's grace I've made it. So hence the excitement. I'm so excited to enter this new decade of my life. So forgive me if I talk about it too much. And sorry about the camera angle, but I think I'm gonna be talking from here because I don't want the light reflecting in my glasses, and I can't remove them because I'm dealing with some nerve issues at the moment, and so my one eye is affected. So without wasting any time, let me share with you what I have. Time is your most valuable asset. Once you lose it, you can't have it back, so you have to use it wisely. That lesson, I've seen the pros and cons of listening to that lesson. When you don't use your time wisely, be it doing the things that you love or trying out new things, you'll never have the time back. Now, it will never be 2024 again it will never be 2023 again. It's gone. So if you had plans for 2023 and you didn't do them, it's gone. You can never have it back again. And that's one thing I have learned. Most obvious, but it's something I've learned. So I have learned to use my time wisely. Do not compare your journey to anyone else's. Your path is different. Do not go off your path trying to compare yours to someone else's timeline. Now, that is something I have struggled with. I'm still struggling with, but I'm starting to see progress. I'm starting to see progress as I continuously try to make it stick in my mind that Faith, your time is different from everyone's time. Everyone has their own time. If someone finished at this time, doesn't mean you're going to finish at this time. If someone entered a relationship at this time, does not mean that's the time you're supposed to enter a relationship. Therefore, if you don't enter it at the time, there's something wrong with you. No. Everyone's timeline is different, and that is something I have been struggling to understand. But even as I keep reminding myself, I'm like, you know what, Faith, everyone has their time. Everyone has their time. Just the same way we were born at different times, we're not all born at the same time. It's the same way we're all going to experience different things at different times. Failures are not final. Mistakes are lessons in disguise. What matters is how you bounce back from them, whether you bounce back or you decide to sit down and wallow in self-pity. That is something that has been a big lesson for me, especially this year, last year, in fact, especially the past 2 years, because I've experienced, I think, the biggest number of failures in my life that I've ever seen consecutively the past 2 years. Be it in friendships, in relationships, in school, in most aspects of my life. I've experienced times where things I thought were gonna work out have not worked out, where I thought I was going to pass something and I didn't pass it. But and there was a time where I was like in the biggest ditch of my life, and I was like, oh my days, all these things like piling up on me. I don't know what to do. But when I realized that failures are not final, they are not final. They are not final. In fact, sometimes failure are a stepping stone for your success. They are lessons. You learn lessons. If you don't fail, you can't learn lessons. So when I realized that, I was like, you know what? Every time I experience a failure, I'm like, thank you, God, for this is another lesson I'm learning. Taking care of your mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health is not selfish. Putting yourself at a certain degree is not selfish, because you cannot take care of other things. You cannot handle other things. You cannot feel or feed other things when you when you're not feeding yourself. I don't know how to explain it, but when you don't take care of yourself, you will not be equipped to take care of other things. You need to be in the best physical condition if you want to, let me say, make a change in this world, or the best emotional condition if you want to be there for your friend when they're not going through very many things emotional, or the best mental condition if you want to help other people mentally. But if you neglect your own health, and you in the name of, I don't want to be selfish, or I don't want to look like putting myself on a certain level, then you won't be respected, because people can't respect you if you don't respect yourself. Respect is in all forms, not only the normal form of respect, but also respect is in the way you take care of yourself, your health, the way you carry yourself. All those things are important. It is important to a certain degree. Self-care to a certain degree is important. It becomes toxic when you start putting it above every single thing all the time. Then it becomes toxic. But a certain level of self-care is not selfish. I have learned that I cannot control everything. It is something I'm still learning, that I can't control everything. The only thing I can control is how I respond to life, because life is unpredictable. The only thing I can control is how I respond to the things it throws my way. But other than that, I can't control everything. One of the biggest, in fact, I feel like this year has been like a lesson ground for me, because I have been humbled. I don't know how to say it, I don't know if humbled is the right word, but I have been humbled this year. That's all I can say. And I have learned my lessons. I have cried my tears. I have grown. Basically, this year has been a year for me to grow, but also to sit down and open layers of myself that I didn't know I had. So which made me realize that I have not been in control of anything. I've been under false control, thinking I'm in control of everything when I was not in control of anything. So that's something I've also learned, that I cannot control anything. The only thing I can control is how I respond to it, how I respond to life. And I've also learned to give God control, because I've been saying, oh God, I give you everything, but when I'm also still holding on. And I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm still struggling. There are times where I have to remind myself, Faith, let God take the wheel. You're not the one driving. Let God drive. Sit in the passenger seat and see where you're going. You'll eventually arrive. Stop trying to control everything. And that's a reminder, and that's something I've come to realize. Knowing when to say no is as important as knowing when to say yes. That has been a very big challenge for me growing up. I did not know when to say no. In fact, I don't think I had no in my vocabulary. I thought if I said no, I was being selfish, I was being rude. Yet there were certain situations that I would have avoided if I had known how to say no, if I had known how to set boundaries. Yet again, I'm not condemning myself, because if I didn't go through those things, then I wouldn't have learned this lesson. So setting boundaries, knowing how to set healthy boundaries. When I learned that, I have seen an enormous improvement in my life. Yes, I've lost people, because these people probably thought I had no boundaries, and so they tried to play around with me. And when they could no longer do it because I learned how to set boundaries, they left. I have missed out on certain things, because as fun as they sound, I've learned to set boundaries for myself, principles, and stand by them. So there have been times where I've been called rude or rigid, but I knew that what I was standing by was true and was a principle that I stand by. So as much as it hurt not to be associated with those people, or not to go certain places, or not to even be involved in certain things, I knew that in the long run, this was going to benefit me. So when I learned how to set boundaries, I realized how important it is. It is always very important, and people will always be more important than things. If you think that you can be by yourself, you don't need anyone, you don't need anything, that is not true. Everyone needs someone. Everyone needs a community to do life with. Everyone needs people to do life with. And if you continue isolating yourself, you're going to miss out on certain aspects of life that you should have had if you had meaningful connections with people. And that has been a lesson that I've been trying to learn, because I am naturally an introvert. I'm an introvert. And there are not even a day, there are days where I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, you will text me, I will see the text and ignore it. You will call me, I will see your call and ignore it. You will tell me you want to hang out with me, I will probably make up an excuse. And am I saying this like, am I being rude or anything? No, but like, I just physically can't. There are days where I'm like, oh my days, Faith, this person has taken their time to reach out to you. Come on, talk to them. But like, when I just physically, I can't. I've just failed. And this is something I've been trying to train myself. Faith, you have to build meaningful relationships, and you have to put in the work for these relationships to work. So that is just something I have learned, and I'm continuously learning, because it is very, very important to have people to fall back on, relationships, mentors, people to keep you accountable. It is very, very, very important. Learning never stops. That is something that I think I've always been told, even by my parents. You will never stop learning. Even the wisest person, even the wisest man, even Solomon, even David, people we assume knew everything. Every single time when you read their books, Solomon was wise. He wrote the book of Proverbs, and then he learned more later on and wrote the book of Ecclesiastes. In Proverbs, he thought he knew it all. Song of Solomon, he thought he knew it all. Ecclesiastes, he realized he doesn't know it all. So even the wisest man who has ever existed didn't know it all. He had to continue learning and learning and learning and realizing things. And we got 3 books out of him. So learning never stops. Stay curious so that you can continue growing. Don't think that you know it all. Treat yourself as you would treat a friend, or as you would treat that partner of yours. There have been days where I know I have been hard on myself. I've not had compassion for myself. I've wanted to push myself beyond what I can do. And I've been so hard on myself. And those were days where I would just shut down. And then I start complaining that I've shut down, yet I was not being kind to myself. Being kind to yourself can be in very many ways. It goes back to self-care. Have a time where you're giving time to listen to your body. Listen to your body, guys. Your body is like a machine. When you don't listen to it, it's going to shut down. When your body says it has reached this limit, give it time to rest. That's why we have times to rest. That's why even God rested. That's why God rested. If we were meant to be machines, we'd be working 24/7, 24/7, 24/7. No, you need to give it time to. You need to give your body time to rest. Be kind to your body. Don't be like, I don't know how to say. Like, there were times where I was so harsh on myself. When I sit down and I'm like, Faith, what was going on? Why would you treat yourself like that? Yet you can even not treat someone else like that, but you're treating yourself like that. So be kind to yourself. That's a lesson I've learned. Always be kind to yourself. Listen to your body. Know when to stop. Don't rush. Don't rush. You're not running anywhere. You're not competing against anyone. Don't rush. Dream enormously big, but give yourself time to achieve those goals. Don't try to rush the things. It goes back to comparison. Rushing happens when you think you have to move at a certain timeline. There is no timeline. There is no timeline. Like, I want you to understand there is no timeline. You can achieve anything you want to achieve, even at 60. The guy who made KFC, he achieved his thing way old. There is no timeline. Dream enormously big. Don't limit yourself, but make sure in the process, don't rush things, because when you rush things, they'll not be built properly and they'll fall. Focusing on what you have rather than what you lack can change your perspective. Gratitude. Be grateful every single day. That is something that I have learned, and I'm also trying to incorporate in my life, because I know there have been days where I've not been grateful. But then when I sat down and I realized, but Faith, you're complaining, but you're standing in prayers that you prayed 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years ago, and you're living in those prayers right now. So rather than complaining, be grateful. Thank God. Thank God for your family. Thank God for your friends. Thank God for where you are right now. Thank God that you're still alive. Thank God for your health. Thank God that there are a lot of things you can thank God for. Thank God that you're not in hospital. Thank God that you're not on oxygen. Thank God that you have free air. Thank God that you can talk. The very people can talk. Thank God that you can hear. Thank God that you get to wake up every morning. Like, there's so much to be grateful for and so little to complain about. And I realized complaining comes from a point of thinking that you have to be in control. So when you lose control, you think that what you have right now is not enough. You need to get more, and that's the only way you'll be satisfied. When you learn to be grateful, you're gonna live your life to the fullest. Perfectionism is a trap. That's all I'm gonna say. That's another lesson I learned. Perfectionism is a trap. Try to figure out what I'm trying to say by that. This is so personal for me, because as someone who loves routine, someone who can easily get used to something very easily, and someone who fears change, who has always feared change, because of the fear of the unknown, this is a lesson that once I got to know, I'm learning to incorporate in my life. Don't fear change. Growth requires change. You cannot grow unless something changes about you. You cannot grow. No one should lie to you that you will grow while remaining the same. It does not exist. If you want to grow in any aspect of your life, something has to change. Something has to change. Even our bodies, when they're going through growth, something changes. Even trees, when they're growing, something changes. You cannot grow without going through change. Needing help does not mean weakness. In fact, it shows strength, that you recognize where you fall short, therefore you need help. Because not everyone has the answers. Not everyone knows it all. And at some point in time, we need to hear other people's opinions about certain things. So when you reach out for help, it shows strength, it shows self-awareness. You know where you're lacking, hence you're reaching out. Now, that is something that I have struggled with. I think I'm still struggling with. I know that it's okay to ask for help, but physically, mentally, I just sometimes can't bring myself to ask for help. Now, asking for help comes with wisdom, because who are you asking for help? You don't just ask anyone for help. You need to know the right people to ask for help. So that is also something that I am learning. I'm still learning. But over time, I've come to realize that it is very okay to ask for help. It does not mean you're weak at all. This is all you have. Right now, this very moment, right now, whatever is happening around you right now, that is all you have. That is all you know. Don't dwell so much on the past, and don't worry so much about the future. Live in the now. This is all you have. Like, the present is all you have. And that is also something that I have learned and I'm incorporating in my life daily, that don't live in the future. Because what will happen when the future comes and you didn't live in the present, that means the past will have gaps, or you will not even be ready for your future because you didn't live in the present to lay the foundation for your future. So that is also something that I am learning and that I have learned, that the present is all I have now. And what should I do with it? Live to the fullest. Try to live it to the fullest. Success is yours. And success is according to you. My understanding of success might not be your understanding of success. Success to you might be having a car, or I don't know, making it in a certain area in life. Success to me might be different. Success to me might be having a family, being a mother might consider that successful. Success to someone else might be finally, releasing that album. Success to someone else might be finally owning that house. Success, you should define success for yourself. Don't define success according to what the society puts. Because who made the rules? Let's be honest. Who made the rules? Some random bunch of people that thought they controlled the world set a certain bar for success, and now you feel the pressure to reach that bar of success when your purpose is not there. I've realized very many people miss out on their purpose that God has aligned for them, trying to meet societal purposes. You're going to miss out on your actual purpose trying to meet this societal purpose that does not even make sense. So define success for yourself. Know, who am I and what is my purpose, and live according to that. People will always forget what you did, but not how you made them feel. And that is something that I have learned a lot of times. And I've also experienced this because there are certain people who made me feel so betrayed, so hurt, so, destroyed. And I remember them for that. That's the funny thing. I do know that they were at some point they were very nice friends of mine. They did this, they did that, they did that, they did. But at a certain point, I kind of forgot what they did for me, and I started remembering how they made me feel at the point where we just went our different ways. And it's very important to know that how you make people feel is very, very, very important. I know for me, for a fact, there are people who I probably didn't make feel, oh my days. There are probably people who I know I made feel a certain way, and I probably forgot, but they probably didn't. And they'll probably always remember me for that. When they look at me, they're like, oh yeah, that's the girl who did ABCD. And sometimes I probably might have done it unintentionally, or you might have done it unintentionally. Or when you did it, you probably thought that it's not really a big deal, but to them it might have been a big deal. So that's also something I'm learning. And I also ask God to forgive me, or to help those people forgive me. And to those that I was able to reach out, I reached out to them. Are we keeping in touch? No, but at least I reached out to them and I made them realize that, hey, how you felt was important, and I apologize for how I made you feel, because probably then I didn't realize that it hurt you as much. And it was later on that I realized that, hey, I probably what I did was not good to this person. So how you make people feel is very important. It is not. When I fail, it does not mean I'm a failure. And when I started to realize that, I started not to condemn myself every time I went through failure, or I went through a certain failing season of my life. So you need to understand that failure is not a reflection of you. So when you fail, don't think you're a failure. Even when someone tells you you're a failure, don't listen to them. You're not a failure. You're not a failure. You're not a failure. step out of a comfort zone. Be open to experience new things. Give yourself, take those risks, Of course, not the bad risks, the good risks. Be open to experience something else, Don't be so stuck on what you experienced in the past that you don't want to experience something new. This goes to different areas of your life. Most common one that everyone goes for is relationships. If you've had a bad relationship, it does not mean that your next relationship is gonna be bad. Stop trying to label everything bad just because of one bad thing that happened in your life. Be open to take risks, Be open to new experiences. Don't get so comfortable with who you are that you don't want to experience new things and probably discover another part of yourself that you didn't know you had. So this was something I'm learning. I'm learning to step out of my comfort zone, definitely. And I've experienced some new things, and I'm going to experience more things. That sums up everything that I've said, but I feel like I've said 19 points. I probably missed out one, but if they're 20, I'm gonna add 21 because why not? But if they're 19, let me add one. Put God first in everything. Everything. Put God first. In your studies, in your relationships, in your plans, in your endeavors, in your businesses, in every single thing that you do. Just know everything. Put God first. And when you do, He's gonna show up for you every time. He's gonna show up for you every time. He's gonna show up for you every time. Am I saying I'm there yet? No. There are days where I fall off, but then get back up. The Bible says the righteous fall down 7 times, but get back 8 times. So I fall and I have to come back. Like, I'm not a failure. Let's keep this going, When you put God first, you realize that one mistake does not cut you out. It does not cut you out. It in fact, when you make that mistake and you realize you've got the courage to get back again, you thank God because you realize, oh, God has not left me because He has enabled me realize this and realize that I need Him more and has still welcomed me. So in everything that you do, in everything that you do, put God first. That's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope these lessons, as much as they have come through for me, I hope they come through for you as well. And yeah, hopefully they work for you. Please note these lessons down and try to incorporate them in your life, and I promise you're gonna see change. If you keep up to them, you're gonna see a change. I promise you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to join the family, turn on the post notifications so you'll be notified every time I post a video. I don't have a routine yet because I don't really want to follow a routine. I want to go according to when I think it's really necessary for me to post. So when you do that, you'll be notified every time I post a video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video and have a lovely week, a lovely day, a lovely night, morning, whatever time you're watching this video, and see you next time. Bye.